Hey guys, you're back with Juzzie, and this is another unbox of a part for the TweakedGSX. Today is my birthday, and on my birthday, right on time, I've received this no-name rear cowl, which is pretty much a copy of the genuine version that comes from Suzuki, but I purchased this one because it comes in a carbon fiber hydro-dipped finish. So it arrived just like this in the box, and I'm just going to use my scissors to cut it open, and we'll check it out and see how it compares to the Motozar one that I previously had on the bike. Okay, so we're looking at this together for the first time. So the reason why I went for this particular one is because I wanted easy access to be able to get to the lockable items area of the bike, even though it's only a really small area. There's two things that I'm really interested in accessing rather easily, one of which is the tool bag, and the second is an emergency kit. So if I was to come off the bike, I just wanted to have some bandages or something of that nature, and some wipes that I can get to easily if I'm stuck. But probably one of the main things is that it just wasn't easy to access that lockable area with the Motozar seat cover. In order for that to sort of sit in correctly, you had to remove the side panels, remove the seat, and then you'd be able to lift up the cover, and it was just completely unpractical, but it looks so damn good. So I think for a daily perspective, what I might do is actually just put this one on the bike and then actually look at using the other one in the event of a display or so. So I've just turned this over for the very first time, and yeah, it's a really nice hydro dipped finish. So I've gone to choose this one instead of using a color, because I'd read on some of the groups, the Facebook groups for the S750, that the color doesn't actually match 100%, and you actually see a number of people post these up shortly after they've bought them. Whereas the good thing about the carbon hydro dip is that, yes, I can see that this matches really well, and I actually like the gloss finish on this one, so that looks pretty cool. So I'm going to do my usual ceramic coating of that clear, and just underneath you can see here that it's got the hook for the factory locking mechanism. So first of all, before I go to any effort of ceramic coating, I'll actually just test to make sure that this fits properly, and then if so, we'll coat it. So here we are looking at the inside of the carbon cowl and the factory rear passenger seat. So as you can see, it's got the hook for the lock to go through, and it's got the rubber stopper on the left side, rubber stopper there, and then you've got this plastic part which keeps the seat sort of centered and stable, which goes into that hole. I also noticed that on this part it says, it was Motozar, or at least Zun, and that brand was the exact same one that I got for the perfectly fitting tank cover and the hydro dipped lower center belly pan cover. So I know that this is going to fit really good. So the last thing I just wanted to note is that when you've got the factory passenger seat, it's got these hooks here with a little slit in the plastic so that you can feed your helmet strap through there, so that if you're the sort of person that likes to hang your helmet off the side of the back here, you can have one on one side and one on the other. I don't actually like that because it actually ends up marking the fairing, and it's just not for me. I'm not even going to be riding with anyone on the back, but nonetheless, that's what it's there for. So they both come with the hook on the back, so that can feed in underneath this black bar. So once that goes in underneath the black bar, simply push in just like normal, and it locks in. Don't have to turn the key or anything, just locks. So I think that looks pretty neat. It's obviously just like the OEM one. I'm not actually sure if the OEM one comes in an optional carbon finish. I know you can buy some carbon parts for this bike, but I think that they were pretty much for engine covers, or maybe clutch covers, something like that. But nonetheless, the Australian Suzuki website is pretty rubbish. So yeah, it's got a little cutout here so that you can fit at least on one side that strap through for the helmet. So it doesn't actually have one on the right side. Personally, I feel that I wish that it didn't actually have that little cutout there. But nonetheless, it's not actually something that's, you know, just rubbish. It's not problematic. So it does look pretty neat. So I'll just zoom out a bit. So that's what it looks like. Rear cowl and the tank. Coming to the front, you probably already know, I've got the carbon hydro dipped headlights around. I did have someone actually put a comment in one of my videos for this tank cover asking, but is it real carbon fiber? After I'm talking the whole video saying that it's a plastic part with hydro dipped. So yeah, I don't know what to say to people. The content clearly shows that it's a hydro dipped part. So if you want to have a nice look and you realize that this is not a race bike, it does have good speed, it's a 750, it's a nice all-round bike, and you just want to have some nice appearance to the bike, then these hydro dipped parts are perfectly fine. I've got them on my Evo all over the place. I ceramic coat them and the ceramic coating will last perfectly fine. So say for example, I've got on my Evo the brake duct vents, the Ganador style mirrors, and on the roof and on the wing. So in Australian sun, where we don't have hardly any pollution in the air, especially in comparison to other countries in the world, we've got super strong sun here. And here in Brisbane, our state is called Queensland, the Sunshine State. It's super strong here. So I know that if you are worried about buying any sort of hydro dipped part, if you ceramic coat the part and you do it properly, you let it rest, you don't let it get water on it for at least a week. And if you can do 2 coats of it, even better, then you're going to be fine and you're not going to be getting fading of the clear coat, which then ends up resulting in the hydro dip part fading and it just eventually turning to all black. So yeah, I've had these parts. This was, I think, the first part I ever put on my car, and that was 5 years ago. And this is not a genuine carbon part. It's a fiberglass part, which is hydro dipped and then ceramic coated twice. And I think then after that, over the years, I probably ceramic coated it 2 or 3 years after that, just to be on the safe side. If you do this on your bike, you're going to be totally fine. All right, so it locks fine. I won't have any of the issues that the Motozar carbon cover did. As I was saying previously, in order to access the storage area of that one, I would have had to have removed the side panel, removed the seat, which means that I had to have access to an Allen key in the first place to get to those. So that in itself is annoying. Nobody wants to do that, and nobody's going to remember to carry that in their pocket. But that part does look super nice, and arguably, I know appearance is questionable. Some people like things, some people don't. But in terms of convenience, this being just like the factory part, lockable, you know, certainly very good fitment. And I don't know whether or not you can get this carbon part from Suzuki, or if it's just in the plain colors like the colorways for every bike here that they make. But I think that really ties in well, having the carbon at the rear, the tank, and on the headlights around. If you don't end up going this route, you do have the option of purchasing a number of carbon parts that, you know, you can replace this part or this part in the hydro dipped surround. So yeah, there's lots of opportunity for custom looks that other people you generally don't see on other people's bikes.
Black suit, but even cuter behind the barrel of my 6-shooter. You look worried cause I ain't buried. Punks leave in a hurry cause I throw flurries, making motherfuckers scurry. Come feel the flavor from my single. It brings sales tingle, I'm feeling stronger than a